Hooked from an early age, Sam Morshead was the first leading professional jockey to turn his hand to racecourse management. An instrumental figure in turning around the fortunes of Perth Racecourse, he was forced to retire due to ill health and is now anxious to tell his equine story. I sat down with Sam to discuss Racing Through Life, A Jump Jockey's Tale, a book which John Frankham refers to as beautifully written that triggered a lot of happy memories from an era that was a million miles away from the one that jockeys know today. Sam, I reckon everyone's got a book in them. Thanks for the opportunity to discuss yours. How did it come to fruition?
Well, thank you, Gordon. Well, I suppose I told my dear wife, Sue, about my various, sometimes hilarious stories about racing and my career and the luck I've had and the crashes and the falls I've had, and she said, come on, write it down. And I started to put the races together and the falls together and the stories together, and it's sort of materialised, really.
Okay, back to the beginning then. The book itself, it charts your whole life through your career as a jockey in the early days in Ireland, and then you move into racecourse management. But what an idyllic childhood in County Meath. I mean, where better to, serve your formative years?
I had a great time as a child. Fantastic time in Ireland, and then, it all took off really. I rode a winner from school, and had a great time. The book is a very naked portrayal, and I'm pretty nervous. I have been pretty nervous about it. Thank God people like it, but it's a heartfelt story of my life and the ups and downs, and I think it emphasises the points of luck and being in the right place at the right time, which I've been very fortunate to have an awful lot of luck. My fellow jockeys would say I was damn lucky to ride a winner at all, but I did have a fantastic time, and I was involved in a few hilarious stories along the way. I mean, very early in my career, I was involved in the Gay Future coup.
At Cartmel.
At Cartmel. And I worked for O'Grady's at the time, so we had great fun with that. And I was second to Yellow Sam at Bellewstown in that famous Barney Curley coup. So a touch of the gambles were with me very early on. Thank goodness I'd never been a betting man. I'd never been tempted. I'm far too mean to put a tenner on a horse. So I was never tempted by money. And then winners took off, really. I was fortunate enough to ride, first ride in the flat one, the first ride of a fences one, the first ride of a hurdles one, and things took off. And then I got a magical call from Fred Reimel, and he told me I was going to ride two from Hereford and they'd both win. And his wife, Mercy, would be there to greet me. That was a frightening experience, and little did I know we were going to have a pretty amazing time together for a few years, and there were some serious ups and downs. But I've had a lot of fun, and it's been fun putting it down.
Some of the stories in the book are, dare I say it, in this day and age, looking back, unbelievable.
Yeah, we were pretty naughty boys. We did have a lot of fun. One day at Chepstow in the fog, we only jumped 3 fences. We were told we had to race round, and we thought it was too foggy. And they never saw us, so we jumped round without jumping a fence until we jumped the first fence, and then didn't jump anything into the last 2 fences, and the result still stands in the record books today. So that was hilarious. We would have got absolutely strung by the quarters if they'd known. But we got away with it. We did some pretty good cheating at the scales, cheating our weights. Saddles were passed out through windows, and all sorts of things went on. We had good gas and lots of funny stories. So it was... it was a lot of fun. I didn't react to pressure very well, and Mercy put me under a lot of pressure. Fred was wonderful. I had a great career with him. Sadly, the bloody cancer got him far too early. And then I didn't ride well for Mercy because she put me under horrendous pressure. And I tended to ask horses for too much, and that tended to be disastrous.
That led to injuries, didn't it?
It led to a lot of injuries, yeah. And I had a lot of bad falls and head injuries. I was concussion for 9 months and life support machine for a few days. But one funny story about being under pressure with Mercy, I dropped my whip, which wasn't a very clever thing to do at Hereford, and this thing had to win. And when Mercy says they win, they have to win, they have to win. Or she says you won't ride it again, which is a pretty negative thing to go out starting on. Anyway, I dropped my whip, and there was a girl in the race, so I manoeuvred myself across to this poor young lady and decided, well, she won't be holding her whip very tight. And I tried to nab it off her. I said, you won't need this, I'll need it more than you. But damn it, she wouldn't let go, Gordon. So we had a tug of war before coming up to a hurdle. I never got it, and I got beat.
Oh.
So that wasn't so good. So yeah, I didn't react to pressure very well. But I had a wonderful time, rode some really good horses. Royal Frolic, before he won the Gold Cup, was exquisite. He had a fantastic spring and a lovely jump. And of course, the Rymel horses were of a wonderful stamp. They were big horses and not necessarily big, but they had a lot of quality. They all whose quality. They talk about the Rymel stamp, and that was quality. And Mercy loved the real quality. Fred probably liked the bigger horses, but again with a lot of quality. And so I was fortunate to ride some lovely horses, and I rode a lot of winners for them. And I had good support from other trainers. When the injuries went in the way, I had a very good career, but I should have ridden more winners without a doubt.
The tales away from the saddle as well. I mean, the book itself, what's the description we've heard?
Well, yes, someone has said it's a cross between Jilly Cooper and Dick Francis. Well, I can assure readers that I'm not in that league. But yeah, there's a bit of sauce. There are a couple of my friends who we stayed in a cottage with at Fred Rymel's, and then a smarter house. And there was a certain amount of competition who got the most notches in the beds. I was very well behaved. I was a much quieter young man at the time.
Are we naming names here?
Well, there's a certain Mr. Bailey and Mr. Twiston Davis who I shared houses with. We had an awful lot of fun and a lot of laughs. And they have read the book, I think, and know what's coming. So thankfully, I don't think lawyers are on the way. But we had a lot of fun, and yes, there's a certain amount of sauce. And then, of course, I had 2 broken marriages, which wasn't so clever. But I think looking back, and you get time to reflect when you're not well, and you look back and reflect in your life. And I was probably naughty with the grass being greener, and I wasn't patient enough. The grass is greener. But then I would say that I found the perfect angel at the end of my life, and sadly she got brain cancer, and I lost her. So that was very sad. But yeah, I was probably one who's wanted the grass a bit greener. So that's all part of my life. But I have 3 wonderful sons, and I love them to bits, and I'm helping them all I can in their careers. One is about to start working for Kim Bailey, and he rides bloody well. So I hope he's a little bit big. I just hope he's got the weight right, and he can get a bit of luck.
You were in an era as well, riding against lads where, you played hard and you worked hard. I mean, weighing room colleagues like, say, Hugh Davis, Frankham?
Yeah, Hugh and Frank and Eck, and we had a lot of fun together, Paul Barton, Colin Brown. We had a lot of sport together. One day Eck stole my dentures, and I came in after racing looking for my dentures, and I found them in my sandwich box eating a bit of toast. So we had a lot of fun, and Frankham was pretty naughty with trays of disinfectant sweets or disinfectant box cubes that he decided to dish around and try to get people to eat. Yeah, there's some stories that didn't get in there which were too naughty, but we had a lot of fun. We all respected each other hugely. We were great mates. We helped each other on the course as much as we could, but once we're down to business, there was no inch given. So that was all half the fun of it.
Just picking out 1 or 2 highlights through your riding career. You never won a national, but you rode in a few nationals. But you rode some good horses down through the years and enjoyed a fair bit of Cheltenham Festival success along the way.
Yeah, the Cheltenham Festival was just wonderful. It was always such a good challenge between the Irish jockeys and the English jockeys, and we all had a lot of fun, great banter and sport, but it was serious out there, and no inch was ever given. I was fortunate enough to win the Sun Alliance on Gay Chance in 1981, which was very exciting and probably a real pinnacle to my career at the time. And then he went on to win what's now the World Hurdle. He was a very good horse, and I think he would have gone on to win a Gold Cup. But he was lovely. Special days, good memories, and I won a lot of good races. So I hit the big time often enough. But then I had a very bad fall and smashed everything all through my face and bones and teeth. And Dr. Allen, who did, interestingly, those days, he had final say, and there was no second opinion. And he called me up to his London office in Portman Square then and said, Sam, I'm sorry, there's no more racing for you. You've damaged yourself too much. which for a jockey or anybody suddenly having their career taken from them was pretty shocking. The Injured Jockeys Fund were fantastic. They helped me for a year, which is wonderful. And then I was fortunate enough to get into racecourse management. I went to Scotland to catch a salmon and got interviewed at Ayr Racecourse. And much to my surprise, they said they could do something with me, which turned out to be fantastic. And I've just loved a career in racecourse management.
So you started at Ayr. I think you did a little bit of time. I saw you at Musselburgh, I saw you at Kelso, and then at a pivotal point in your career, you ended up at Perth.
Yeah, in those days, Ayr Racecourse managed Clark and all the 5 Scottish racecourses. But as racing developed more and more money came into the sport, the opportunity was for racecourses to stand their own 2 feet, and I saw the opportunity for Perth. And I was fortunate enough to be given the opportunity to take it on. And we've had a fantastic time putting it together. And I try to talk about that in the book because it was an awesome experience. I had the support of a wonderful chairman in David Whittaker, who sadly passed away this year. He was a wonderful man, and we had a great relationship. We got on very well, and he was happy for me to push the boat out and make things happen. And we've done a lot. We built a whole big new stand, £2 million investment there, and lots of other new facilities. And I had a fantastic team around me, a wonderful groundsman in Donald Gow and Morag Reid in the office, and great team. And then this last year, we've got the stables down on site, which is a major improvement, because that was a nuisance, the stables being off-site for trainers. It was a real pain for them. And we've built a hotel, which was my little brainwave.
The Lodge.
The Lodge. Why not have a hotel? And we've got to have good facilities for stable staff, which of course we want. We'd love a hotel. And that wouldn't have been possible without the support of RMG and Racing UK, because without the security of that partnership with them, that simply wouldn't have been possible. So huge thanks to that team.
It grew thanks to your good self, because I mean, when you took over, I don't think it was a Perth Festival. You were the man that started the Perth Festival.
Perth Festival was my baby. It wasn't. It was just ticking over. It wasn't really flying at all. It wasn't. It was only just ticking over the racecourse. It didn't have many fixtures, and it needed a boost. And I had the idea of the festival that trainers needed to have a rest and a time to relax up at Perth. The opportunity was there. The jockeys I knew wanted to party. So there was a lot of partying going on. From experience. There was a lot of partying going on, a lot of people in the wrong beds, and it was all a hell of a laugh. So we had a lot of fun, and the sponsors came aboard, the racing improved, and this whole business of Perth Racecourse grew tremendously.
So the story of your life, I mean, any regrets? I mean, obviously riding career coming to an end sooner than you would have wanted, but that apart?
No, I don't think so. Well, I wish I'd cottoned on that horses didn't actually need a kick all the time. They do it on their own. Like the jockeys now sit wonderfully still, and I had the belief that to make them go faster and win races, they needed a kick in the belly, which was unfounded. I think Yogi Breisner would have really kicked me up the ass, as they say. I better take that one out. Anyway, yes, I think there are regrets about my career because I could have done much better. I was told I was told I was good at it, and I shouldn't have been told I was good at it because I wasn't that good at it. But I was fortunate to have some very good horses to ride.